I'm often asked if it is okay to approach somebody with disability or facial differences to talk to them about their disability. And the first thing I think of is, how would you feel if a complete stranger walked up to you and asked you about your medical history? And I always refer to disabled activists and what they prefer. And honestly, no one owes you their private information just because they have disabilities or facial differences. I had my daughter for 10 and a half years, and she had significant facial differences and disabilities, and we experienced many different things. Now, with children, it's a little bit different. As a parent taking your child out, you want people to be accepting. You don't want your child to experience the rejection, the cruelty, and you want other children around them to be accepting and kind. So it can be a little bit tricky, and I feel like parents want to educate more, and understandably so. But still, even when a child starts to get a little bit older and understand, they also need to learn that it is up to them whether or not they feel comfortable revealing any medical information. And that saying, no, now's not a good time, is perfectly okay. And so we had several different experiences, and I wish there was a blanket answer, but everyone is different, situations are different, whether it's appropriate or not. And I always say that the easiest way to educate yourself and your kids is to go on social media. There are some amazing and generous disability activists and people with facial differences that share their journey, and you and your children can get to know them and love them and follow along. And the more you do this, the more normalized it is for your children, for yourself, when you go out and about, and seeing people with disabilities and facial differences becomes less of a big deal and a curiosity. So I have 3 experiences that I'll share that are great examples. When Sophia was 5 months old, she was having her first major surgery. It was skin grafts under her eyes, and it was going to be a 6-7 hour surgery. We were extremely nervous, and I remember sitting in the waiting room of the Children's Hospital, Philadelphia, and this woman sat right next to me, and the waiting room chairs are up against each other. And she turned and faced me and fired off question after question after question about my daughter for about 10 minutes. And this was new to me at this point, so I didn't feel comfortable saying, no, leave me alone, now's not a good time. But she was asking me about her conditions. No test had come back. Everything had come back negative for conditions that they had tested for. So she said, is her skin going to grow around her mouth? And this and that, and would not stop. And so eventually I mustered up the courage to say, hey, I'm extremely nervous about my daughter's surgery that's coming up, and I really want to spend some quiet time with her. And so she went away. In that situation, extremely inappropriate, and I wish, looking back, I had been strong enough to say, hey, this is not appropriate for you to do right now. Another situation was Sophia's very first pumpkin patch experience. She was 1 year old, and we were very excited, and we were out there taking pictures and picking out a pumpkin, and we saw how animated and nice the lady was, checking the family and the kids out, offering stickers. And as soon as we walked up to get our pumpkins, she looked down and would never look up at us, and never offered Sophia a sticker, and my husband took one for her. And it was just very uncomfortable, and it was hurtful. And this lady probably just didn't know what to do, didn't want to stare. She didn't know how to react, maybe froze up, felt uncomfortable. And this reaction wasn't appropriate either. But there was another time when I took Sophia out to Target. Our shopping cart was full, and by the 15th, 20th person that was staring, whispering, I heard some mean remarks here and there. I was about to burst into tears and just leave the cart and leave the store. And this woman came up and said, oh my gosh, she has the prettiest blue eyes I've ever seen. Look at those eyelashes, and was talking about her cute outfit and how bubbly and sweet she was. And it's just what I needed to stay and complete my shopping experience. And then she told me about her granddaughter or niece that had disabilities. And at that point she asked, is it okay if I ask what her condition is? And I felt comfortable talking to her about it. And in that situation, it felt appropriate. But there are so many different situations, so many different examples of things that happen. But in reality, just treating everybody the way you treat everyone else is a wonderful thing to do. And if you are using social media as a tool to normalize disabilities and facial differences, raising your children, educating them on all the different types of disabilities and facially different and beautiful faces that are out there, it's a wonderful thing. So I would say if you can, do it at home and then practice kindness when you're out and about seeing people with differences.